Hey guys, come on in. We're about to get started.
This is Nerd by Choice. We talk about sports, films, movies, music, etc.
So, welcome back to my podcast, Nerd by Choice. This is the second season. This is the first episode of the second season. And I want to talk about a little bit about the intro because you probably saw the intro with the new season. The little thought process is I wanted something a little cool, kind of speaks to me, kind of like what I like and like stuff that I like nerd about and stuff like that. I also want to shout out Sage, Ava, Jeff, and Michael from Hawk TV. This is a TV production crew or a club that I'm a part of. And now I'm on the e-board for next year. Shout out them. And I also want to shout out my old sweet mates in my sweet sophomore year, Braden and Xavier, for just being participants and helping me film this intro, have this intro for my own podcast. And I just want to say thank you for people that subscribed last summer. I know it's been a while, but I was just focusing on school, got some new equipment. You can see the mic, the soundboard, got my laptop because I want to use some stats that I want to talk about in this episode. And now let's talk about the NBA Finals. Now, when we watch these playoffs, we've seen like the beauty of the Thunder emerging as one of the best teams, and we've seen the Pacers' depth. And we've seen how great these teams have performed, how they've executed, how they've just been dogs, essentially. I think what's key for this finals is which is going to do better, offense or defense. Now, I'm going to name some stats. I'm going to look at my computer and name some stats. So the Pacers in the playoffs, their team ranking is 4th in minutes, 2nd in points, 13th in rebounds, 1st in assists, 8th in steals, 4th in blocks, 2nd in field goals made, 9th in field goals attempted, 1st in field goal percentage, 7th in three-pointers made, 11th in three-pointers attempted, 1st in three-point percentage, 5th in free throws made, 6th in free throws attempted, 5th in field goal free throw percentage, 1st in true shooting percentage, and 5th in turnovers. Now, I think this is based off their averages as a team. So this is how they rank. Now, I'm going to do their net ranking because net ranking is based more of measuring their impact as a team based off of their performances, defensive and offense. So they're 4th in points, 14th in rebounds, and their net ranking. Their net ranking in assists is 1st. Their net ranking in steals is 6th. Their net ranking is 3rd. In blocks, their net ranking in field goals made is 2nd. Their net ranking in field goals attempted is 9th. They're 1st in field goal percentage in their net ranking. They're 4th in three-pointers made in their net ranking. They're 9th in field goals made in their net ranking. They're 1st in field goals free throws, actually, percentage in their net ranking. They're 4th in three-pointers made, sorry if I repeated that. They're 1st in three-pointers percentage, and they're 6th in free throw percentage, and they're 1st in true shooting percentage, and 4th in turnovers. Now, what I've noticed that's very key is that they're efficient. The Pacers are efficient. If you've seen the stats, I might have them somewhere, or I might go back to them. The Pacers are efficient. They're 1st in field goal percentage. They're 1st in three-pointer percentage. So that means however many shots they shoot, they're shooting efficient. Let's say they shoot 20 shots. They make 10 out of them. They're 50%. So they're trying to be efficient as possible, but with their pace. Now, let's talk about the Thunder's ranking in the playoffs. So they're 7th in minutes. They're 3rd in points. They're 4th in rebounds. They're 3rd in assists. They're 1st in steals, 5th in blocks, 1st in field goals made, 1st in field goals attempted, 4th in field goals percentage. They're 9th in three-pointers made. They're 7th in three-points attempted. They're 13th in three-point percentage, which is not surprising. They're 5th in free throws made. They're 5th in free throws attempted. They're 7th in free throws percentage. They're 5th in true shooting percentage. They're 7th and 6th in offensive rebounding and defensive rebounding, and they're 2nd in turnovers. Now, like I said before, that's their average as a team. But now let's get off their performance scene. Because net ranking, like I said, I'm going to repeat again, is their performance, offense and defense, and they measure that and they rank that. So that's net ranking. So they're second in points, ninth in rebounds, second in assists, first in steals, seventh in blocks, first in field goals made, second in field goals attempted, second in field goals percentage, 10th in three-pointers made, sixth in three-point percentage, ninth in free throws made, seventh in free throws attempted, 10th in free throw percentage, third in true shooting percentage, and first in turnovers. Now, I think what you notice is that they're really defensive. They're first in turnovers, meaning they have less turnovers, but they also cost the most turnovers for any opponent they play. I'm pretty sure in StatMuse, even though I don't have it in this doc, they average about 18 turnovers, like their opponents. When they play against OKC, the average is 18 turnovers for the opponents they play, and they average about 11.7 turnovers as a team, which is very key because in my analyzation of this game or this series is at first I looked at the height difference, so I had to go on Fox Sports, and they both averaged the same height. They averaged the same height, which is 6'6" for the team. But the key difference is, like, when you look at their starting lineup, you have Shea, Luke Dort, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, and Isaiah Hartenstein. And then when you look at the Pacers' starting lineup, you have Halliburton, Nembhard, Nesmith, Siakam, and Miles Turner. Now, Nesmith is 6'6", Halliburton is 6'5", Nembhard is 6'4", which is not short, obviously. But when you look at it compared to the Thunder guards and their small forward, Shea is 6'6", Luke Dort is around 6'3", 6'4", and Jalen Williams is 6'7", 6'8". And the reason I bring that up is because the thing that the Pacers are good at is pace and efficient shooting. That's their strength, I believe. And the Thunder's strength is their length, their size, and their defense. The thing I'm intrigued about this final series is how does Rick Carlisle figure out to guard the Thunder? And the reason I say that is because Aaron Nesmith is most likely going to be on Shea because they're the same height, and he can cause some difficulty. But who's going to guard Jalen Williams in that starting lineup? Because I don't think Nembhard can guard him, and I don't think Halliburton can guard him. And it's not because they're not capable. It's because Jalen Williams is big, obviously. He has length, and he's very skilled. At 6'7", 6'8", wing, he can get you 20. And if he's getting someone smaller than him, he's going to take advantage of that. He's going to drive. He's going to do his skill set. And I think that's the issue right there that the Pacers got to figure out this game one on tomorrow is who's going to guard Jalen Williams, and if it has to be Nesmith, is Nembhard going to go guard Shea, or are they going to throw mad bodies? Like, are they going to throw double teams on Shea? Are they going to kind of do a box and one? Are they going to run a zone? Are they going to make Shea think about what he has to do, like the Timberwolves and what the Nuggets did in previous years? Or are they just going to let Nesmith rock and just figure out the rest? I think another key thing is the Pacers could run Siakam. They could run Siakam at Jalen Williams, which to me is not a bad idea. But then you look at it, Miles Turner is going to be by himself guarding Chet and Hartenstein in the paint. I think the Thunder size is going to be a tricky thing where the Pacers might have to run big, where they might have to have Obi Toppin in the starting lineup instead of maybe Nembhard. And they may have to run T.J. McConnell's minutes sporadically because T.J. McConnell is 6'1". And if he's guarding Shea, if you saw what he did to Dante DiVincenzo and Mike Conley, even though they're great defenders, Shea just abused his size and put him in the post. So it really is going to be intriguing how the Pacers figure out their defense and how they're going to combat that size that the Thunder have. Now, I think the key thing that the Thunder have to worry about is that pace. The Pacers' pace is fast. It's not like, oh, we're going to dribble out, we're going to run our half-court offense. It's like, let's get out and run. And granted, the Thunder are pretty young. Like, they're pretty young. I'm not going to deny that. But I don't think they played a team that's running that fast every possession. And I think what's key is I think the Thunder should run the clock out a little bit when on their half-court offense. Really run the clock out. And the reason I say that is because it will make the Pacers it will make them more tired, and it will give them less opportunities to go out and run. But the flip side of that is that if the Thunder do that, they got to hit their shots late in the shot clock. They can't just be doing that and missing their shots and not executing what they need to execute. Now, on the other hand, I think the Thunder should try out a zone. Maybe a box and one on Halliburton. Something to make the Halliburton think instead of just being able to flow and just make up these passes that he usually does. They got to figure out a way to make him think and to make him exert as much energy and just do silly turnovers. Because if Halliburton plays free and he plays without thinking too much, without making silly mistakes, this series could potentially go to 7 games. I believe the Thunder win in 6, but that's if they execute what they're good at. Defense, size, and letting Shea run the show on offense. I think it's going to be interesting. I think the Thunder might swarm Halliburton, but it might be different compared to the Nuggets and the Timberwolves, because with the Timberwolves and the Nuggets, they could swarm Jokic and Anthony Edwards because a lot of the bigs and a lot of some of the guards on the Nuggets and a lot of the bigs on the Timberwolves besides Naz Reid, like Randall and Gobert, weren't shooting consistently to the point where you're like, oh, I got to respect their three. Like Naz Reid, granted, was shooting pretty solid here and there, but it's like with the Pacers, you got Siakam, you got Toppin, and you got Miles Turner, who can shoot the ball pretty well when they're hitting and when they're shooting consistent shots. So I think the Thunder have to figure out how they're going to flood and swarm Halliburton. Swarm is basically bring a lot of defenders, whether that's 2 to 3 defenders, and just make him have to pick up the ball, forcing double teaming, having a roamer to where he might pass, reading the passing lane. So the Thunder just got to figure out how they're going to play defense on Halliburton, because Halliburton is a really good guard. He's a high assist, less turnover type of guard. So he thinks the game, but there's probably ways to combat that, and there's probably ways to kind of just be like, oh, you're going to have to play by yourself, and we're going to focus on your teammates. Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Oh. So I think what the Thunder should do if I was the coach, but that's granted me on my like personality and what I would do, I would make Halliburton beat us. What I mean by that is single in on all the others and not get them involved. Make Halliburton have to drop 30 with 0 assists, 0 rebounds, whatever he's good at. Like, he's good at passing, make him pass less. And the reason I say that is because if he's not getting his teammates involved, then he has to win the game. And Halliburton is not bad, but he also loves to get his teammates involved, loves to get the team involved. And if you can kind of eliminate that and make him have to get it on his own, we're going to see how Halliburton is built. We see Shea can get it on his own when his team not cooking up, because he be dropping 30 balls. He be dropping 30 pieces. He be dropping 30 points a lot of times in these playoffs. And all I'm going to say is I think Thunder win this in 6 because of their size, their defense, and I think they're poised a little bit more than the Pacers. But on the flip side, if the Thunder kind of play lazy, they kind of second guess, or if they just let this Pacers team run, they're in an awakening. I feel like this series is going to show the league what's the next direction. Is it more defense or is it more offense? I believe right now it's more defense, but we'll see what happens It should be a fun series. Like I said, my prediction is Thunder in 6. I think game 1 should be interesting because both teams are going to have a chess match. They're going to throw schemes at each other. And I'm probably going to release another episode every game after every game so I can give down a breakdown of what I noticed and what either team could do better to win the game or to win the series. And this was a fun episode. This is the first episode of season 2, and I hope y'all enjoy.